All right, all right. We are live.
Hello, folks.
Okay, we got to get more centered. So
Honey, there is no way I can get more centered.
You got to scoot that way.
I
There we go. We can't start the shenanigans this early in the morning.
The shenanigans is why my hair is stuck out to one side. Hold on. My hair will stand straight up. Don't play no games. But yeah.
All right. You want to turn off the heater?
No, I don't. I'm cold.
Okay. All right, we're here.
Sorry, guys. We got to start an argument early in the morning. We can't just walk into the day like normal folks. Yeah.
I'll have makeup on by the next stream.
Okay.
I just didn't quite make it for this one.
This, when
it's early, people.
It is. I'll do something different later on.
It's only 9:45 in the morning
here in California.
That's right.
Which technically isn't early. I got up at like 6.
All right. So Giving Tuesday has arrived.
It has. Today is going to be, let me turn off the heater.
All right.
Sorry. Entertain yourselves. There we go.
Okay. No, there's no low.
Sorry, guys. Today, y'all are too much. Sorry. Today, we have a couple of goals. Our main goal is to keep you abreast or updated on how the giving is going, how the family is rallying around their ministry. We do definitely believe, first of all, that this is the Lord's ministry, but that together, this is our ministry. And so we'll tell you how things are going.
In all of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
Family. And we also want to have some fun. We don't just want this to be like a boring time. So we might play a game, answer some questions.
We got some games planned.
Yeah. And
some giveaways.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
special videos.
Let's talk about what our goals are or our objectives are for this year's Giving Tuesday. We are raising money for 2024 for 3 specific projects. The first project, or not the first project, but our first endeavor really is to grow our monthly partner family. I think that's our highest objective. At least it's my highest objective. And what we're looking to do is to grow our monthly partners by 30 new family members at $100 level, at the $100 level. And so now if you want to sign up for the 15 or the 20 or the 5, let the Lord use you, because trust me, as people do that, that also adds up to 100. So, we did put out a specific call to say, hey, we would like this, but don't think that we're like exclusionary or trying to be elitist or anything like that. Trust me, we have people who give $5 a month and we are grateful. We are extremely grateful. Every family member contributing helps. And so I want to put that out first. Yep. But the additional monthly support will help to go to keeping the current part-time staff that we have. And right now we have 3 people that are working with us part-time. And then it will also go to hire another part-time staff that will work specifically with me. Our administrative assistant that we currently have works primarily with Krista. And so I'm looking for someone that can come on for a few hours a week just to be able to assist me in all of the day-to-day things that need to be done so that I can be, on live streams more, interviews more, or writing more, studying more. So that is what this additional monthly income will go to.
So some of you may remember that 2 years ago, back in 2021, we fundraised for an office and for a part-time assistant. And we brought in enough money in that campaign to fund both of those programs for 2 years. So adding these monthly partners at this level will now help us be able to keep that in our budget and build that into our budget from here forward. Yeah. So that adds a stable foundation to keep those programs going.
Yes. And so there is that. We are currently sitting in said office. Yes. And our assistant, April, is absolutely fabulously amazing. And we are super grateful for her. The second project, why don't you talk about it, is for national conference vendor space.
Yeah. So our second goal is to be able to kind of expand our presence at conferences. And every year we have opportunities to do conferences and have a booth presence at a conference, but sometimes it can be very expensive. And so we've been very careful in how we've done that. There's been a couple times where Monique's even exchanged being able to speak for a conference space.
Mhm.
And so she takes no honorarium so that we can have a space at the conference. So we're just trying to kind of build that into our budget for a year and get us in front of some new audiences, maybe go to some new conferences and see what the Lord might open up for us, and being more intentional about building that into our budget, planning ahead, and being able to take advantage of some of the opportunities
Yeah.
that the Lord will bring to us in 2024.
Yes.
So that's why we're fundraising for that, because $10,000 for increasing our booth presence might sound like a lot of money, but booth presence can be very expensive.
Yeah,
So,
it can be very expensive.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think theoretically, $10,000 would probably get us
Maybe 3.
I was going to say 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throughout the year, but these would be national conferences that would have high traffic volume and really give us a presence in being there.
And getting us in front of potentially some new people
Yeah.
that haven't heard of the ministry. So that's our second goal.
And now our last goal is a trip to South Africa, round trip. I'm not staying, I'm coming back. Round trip ticket to South Africa. Let me explain what's going on. And let's see, earlier this year, Apologetics South Africa reached out and extended an invitation for me to come to South Africa and to speak on race and unity. Apologetics South Africa actually reached out, I want to say in 2021, but I wasn't at a place of even considering returning to South Africa. So they've reached out again and have extended an invitation to do a multi-province tour, which is, I mean, if you're familiar, they call them cities in South Africa, but I feel like where we have like counties and different areas, they would say like provinces. But maybe do we have provinces in the United States?
Canada. They have provinces.
But they're not in the United States.
No, we don't really have provinces.
Okay. I don't know. Sorry for
I like
that
your
tangent.
Necklace.
Thank you. We are not going on tangents.
Okay.
And
sorry.
so this year, when they reached out, I accepted the invitation. The way that this works is that Apologetics South Africa will cover all of my expenses while I am in the country. And so flying between some like Johannesburg and Cape Town, any of my food, any of my lodging and all of that. But because they're a smaller apologetics ministry, they can't cover the airline travel from Los Angeles to Johannesburg. Now, Apologetics South Africa is a reputable company. They partner with Southern Evangelical Seminary. When I spoke at the SES National Conference this year, a month ago, I was able to actually meet the team from Apologetics South Africa because the SES seminary actually flew them in. And so we've called it a missions trip, but in reality, it's a speaking tour to be able to go and talk about race and unity from a biblical perspective in South Africa. Many people don't realize that South Africa is also plagued by the critical social theories. We see this a lot tangibly through the farm murders that are happening and have happened throughout the country. The idea of oppress and oppressor or post-colonial theory in that, the Dutch have come in and colonized South Africa or, many other groups. And so I am looking forward to going and speaking with a really very different message than I had when I lived there from 2014 to 2018. And to just go and give the hope of, the message of the gospel, that is truly the best hope that we have for unity. It's the only hope for unity. And so that is That's why I'm going to South Africa. We had someone write in and say, they asked why I was going to South Africa, and they felt that South Africa needs to be sending missionaries here. And so I don't want people to think that this is like your typical missions trip. I'm not, going out as a lone ranger, trying to be a lone missionary and, do these things. No, I'm actually just going speaking. And yes, America needs missionaries as well. I see us as home-based missionaries, but I am going to proclaim the truth of Jesus, and I believe that that's everybody's mission. So there is that.
So if people want to find out more about our Giving Tuesday campaign, they can just go to the website. There's a big button on the front. It'll take you to the Giving Tuesday page, or you can just go to centerforbiblicalunity.com/Giving Tuesday. Okay, we're going to give the update of what has come in so far. And Allison's wondering, are you going to have an assistant go with you to South Africa? She's going to volunteer.
Okay.
I'm not going. I don't fly over oceans.
And I have flown over oceans several times.
I'm not going.
I actually, some of the worst turbulence I've ever had is flying through a storm over the Atlantic Ocean and my plane just dropping. Then there was a time when I landed on the runway and the whole plane shut down. Like we landed and taxied and then everything just shut off. And then we had to get out of the plane and walk.
There was no electricity?
There was no electricity. It just all shut off. And the pilot was like, well, I think we're done. Yeah. Flying into Haiti was fine. Anyway, we need to give an update.
All right, you ready?
Because Jenny has to go homeschool.
Yeah, she's got to go homeschool. Yes. All right, so are we ready to give the update?
Yes. So again, our goal is for the booth rental space, $10,000, and for my trip, $7,000. So that's a total of $17,000. And we are at $6,001. So we are well on our way.
All right.
And the monthly partners, we are looking to increase by 30 monthly partners, and we are currently at, last time I checked, was 3 new monthly partners. And so we are super thankful. We are looking forward to what the Lord is going to do throughout the rest of the day. We have until midnight for Giving Tuesday. And so are you going to have, that was, okay. So that's where we are, $6,001 for our total raise toward 17 and 3 new monthly partners in our goal toward 30. So yes.
Awesome. Should we play a quick clip? One of the things that we always like to have Giving Tuesday be also about us giving back to you. Mm-hmm. And so one of the ways that we're giving back this year is by providing a really cool training that we recorded with Neil Shenvi about the connection between critical theory and the events happening overseas with radical Islam. So we entitled it How Critical Theory is Being Used to Justify Radical Islam. And we have a little clip from that training that we're going to play for you right now. And just a little highlight, just a little, what do we call this? Like a sample, a little sample. You ready?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Aspect of the critical social theories I want to make sure we hit on is critical religion theory. Now, another aspect of the critical social theories I want to make sure we hit on is critical religion theory. Now, I know, Monique, you've been doing some reading since the start of the war on critical Muslim theory, watching some videos. Neil, I'm wondering if you ever heard of this, and how does this fit into the broader discussion of the critical social theories?
I have not heard of it. There are a whole host of critical social theories. I think there's critical animal theory. It deals with pressing animal speciesism.
Yep.
Yeah, no. There is. Monique, I have never read it myself. I saw a title of a paper, but yeah, you can attach it's the same lens. Same lens is always oppressors and oppressed, and they're oppressing through hegemonic power. And in the animal theory, I think it's that humans have the speciest view that we're superior beings, and we then devalue animals, and we see each other actually as equals. But yeah, so I can probably guess what critical Muslim theory is, but I'm sure Monique can give you more information than I can.
Yeah, critical Muslim theory really looks at the oppression of Muslims around the globe. And not all critical, just like not all critical theorists or critical race theorists would think the same things and uphold all of the same tenets, but it looks at how are Muslims being oppressed. And so when we think of the Palestinian situation, they are, being oppressed by the Jews. But you can also look at the wording that's been used since October 7th, that Palestine is like this open jail. Because open prison, because, it's closed in on all sides with, closed borders and things like that. And so, what is it that keeps Muslims oppressed, but not simply, the Palestinian Muslims, but Muslims in any country. But I specifically see this theory playing out in looking at Muslims being an oppressed group and how do we free this specific religion. I've also seen a lot more conversation on Christianity actually being an oppressor group. And because Christianity has been oppressive to Jews then it's kind of like the domino falling. If one oppresses the other, then the other must oppress someone else.
And it is true. There is a truth historically that Christians have engaged in persecution of Jewish people. I mean, that's and that some Jews fled to the Middle East for safe harbor. That was actually a more peaceful place for them to live. Now they had to pay a special tax living in a Muslim country, but they didn't have to worry about the level of persecution that they faced in Europe. And so there is a historical reality to our rough history between Christians and Jews. However, I will say that many Christians today, evangelicals in particular, are very supportive of Jewish people because of seeing what they went through with the Holocaust and the example of people like Corrie ten Boom, who I think, we would be remiss in not saying that there does seem to have been some shifts with that of being more sympathetic to Jewish people. So like Neil said, history is messy. You cannot fit it into these very sharp binary ways of thinking. But Christianity, the truth is that Christianity has engaged in a level of persecution, historically speaking, with Jewish people. So
you see this all the time within the critical tradition. You see this, you take a historical injustice. Say, wasn't that awful? Yeah, it was. Okay, well, we still had that exact same thing today. Like, well, no, we don't. It's changed. So, but they'll say things like, blacks were oppressed under slavery. 100% yes. And then, well, see, that's not really changed at all today. No, that's not at all true. They will be this transition as if nothing has changed in the last 200 years. That's just not true. I mean, Eduardo Benilla Silva, in his book Racism Not Racist, says that we have in place today a social system that is just as effective at keeping blacks as an underclass as the laws under Jim Crow. He says that in his book Racism Not Racist, that we have mechanisms today that are just as effective, I think it's a direct quote, as the laws under Jim Crow. And I'm like, no, we're not living in 1950s Alabama anymore. I'm not saying we're perfect. There's no injustice. I'm just saying that you can't claim that there's been no progress at all. In the same way, did Jews oppress and persecute, did Christians oppress and persecute Jews in the 16th, 17th? Yes, of course they did. That followed that all Christians today are doing the same things. No, it does not at all follow. And so I think we can concede point A while completely rejecting point B. They're the ones who are conflating the two different circumstances. And we have to draw a line and say, no, you can't equate 2023 in the US to 17th century Russia, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's just a snippet of our conversation with Dr. Neil Shinvey. Neil sits on our Academic Advisory Council. He just released a book with him and Dr. Pat Sawyer critical dilemma, looking at the critical social theories and the issues with the critical social theories and why adopting them is a harmful framework to adopt.
Yeah, and so again, that snippet was from a special video that we recorded with Neil. It's a 50-minute conversation talking about how critical theory is playing out and impacting conversations about what's happening right now in the Middle East. It's a very timely conversation, and it is included as our gift back to you for those who donate $50 or more today as part of our Giving Tuesday campaign. So that is all.
All right, guys. And so I think with that, are we?
Yeah, so we're going to see you 2 more times
Yeah.
today. We're going to broadcast again at 1:30 Pacific or 4:30 Eastern, and then one more time at
5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. And at the 5:30 one is going to be really fun because we're going to do a little bit of not ask us anything. We're actually going to have Melissa Doherty come on, and she's going to quiz us and ask us questions. And so it should be interesting.
We've got some unusual questions prepared. Hopefully we'll do some giveaways, and we'll
do some giveaways at the 1:30 and the 5:30.
Yeah, and we'll also be previewing another video that you haven't seen before. So come back for that. Find out more information about our Giving Tuesday campaign on the website.
Yes, yes. If you've given already, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. And if you are still praying about it, please continue to pray about it. And
Yeah.
if the Lord leads your heart, please give before midnight so we can count it toward our Giving Tuesday campaign.
And once again, our current updates are $6,001 and 3 new monthly partners. So
Yes.
we got 27 monthly partners to go.
Awesome, awesome.
We're just trusting the Lord for all of these things,
Yes.
and thankful for your partnership through him with us.
Yes.
So.
All right. See you guys soon.
All right.